Good news, everyone. Welcome to the podcast. This is the JRPG Report, episode 162. My name is James Fisher. Welcome back to your weekly JRPG podcast. All the information and news of the past week. And oh, what a week it was. In particular, what a Wednesday it was. I was fully committed to here at, let's say E3, making a sad announcement about Tales of Arise being delayed until 2022, but not so fast, my friends, as out of literally nowhere, Bandai Namco said, let's just go ahead and throw this out there. Tales of Arise is coming to the world on September the 10th. So looking at your calendar, that's less than 5 months away until we get to experience the newest Tales of experience. Our friends in Japan will get it one day earlier, but this is going to be, as they were touting from the beginning, this is going to be a worldwide launch. I don't count the one-day discrepancy. Hey, you got to give your homeland something, right? Newly announced, this is coming to PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series, in addition to PS4, Xbox One, and PC via Steam. So that is good news. Of course, pre-orders are live. Now, we'll go over some of those at the end. First, there was a press release from producer Yusuke Tamazawa. He said, "I want Tales of Arise to represent a new milestone for the Tales of franchise. This game has a new artistic direction, making the most out of the Unreal Engine and the newly developed, quote, atmospheric shader, end quote, to push the graphics and quality to make players feel like they are in a painting. With a story that is more mature and hits on more essential themes than previous games, we hope players will be fully immersed in Alvin and Shion's story. We can't wait for you to be able to play the game later this year." So let's just take a deep breath as, like I said, this is just news I was not anticipating to report on anytime this year. So not only they hit us with the release date, we got the release date trailer. We got an environmental trailer, which shows the characters walking around in various environments, as you might guess. But the coup de grace, the Japanese version, released yesterday. Today, we got the English version of over 7 minutes of actual, full-blown gameplay, not edited snippets to show the what they want to show you. Actual gameplay in a couple different environments. In addition, it was maybe worried that this was going to not be a Tales experience in terms of a party. Can't tell you how many people are in your party, but the number is at least 4, with 2 new characters coming out of the woodwork to join the fray. Let's talk about those new characters. First is Rinwell, as well as the each Tales game has the mascot, right? It's just not got to have it, and his or her name is Fururu, Fururu, how you pronounce that. She is a girl who Alphen and Shion encounter as she collapsed in the street. We did see that in one of the earlier trailers, that there was a third character hinted at that they showed falling down. She appeals for help to the resistance group in Saslodia. How do you say that? And parties up with Alphen. While astral arts were originally only supposed to be usable by the people of the planet Rena, she is able to use powerful arts despite being from the planet Donna. There you go. So there's your I believe even in one of the trailers says, she says, "I was once referred to as a mage." So that's pretty cool. The little mascot character, I'm not quite sure it kind of looks like an owl, but as a parent of a child with literally I wouldn't say 100, but she's got quite a few of the Beanie Boos, little stuffed animals. It totally has Beanie Boo eyes, unmistakable, but it does appear to be kind of cute. Hopefully it doesn't have an annoying voice to go along with it. The other character is named Law, and he uses his fists in battle. Kind of looks like kind of more of a punk version of Jude from Tales of Exillia. If you need a comparison, he is a boy from Caligula. Despite being from Donna, he works as a member of the Bullseye, which is Rena's police system, and stands in the way of the party when they arrive at Saslodia. I can't wait to hear how that's pronounced. I do not know. Here is some further information, which was shared with Famitsu magazine from producer Tamazawa. He says, development is going quite well, and from this point only final adjustments remained. He is confident there will be no future delays, and the game will meet a September launch. I feel like it will. Having seen the game in action, and obviously Bandai Namco was confident enough to come out here with this release date. They've only had Windows previously. This has been worked on for a while, guys. It got hit with COVID pretty hard, and apparently the team has been able to rebound. And I guess it's more wishful thinking than anything, but I'm very, very hopeful that this is going to meet its September 10th, 9th in Japan release date. Tales of Arise supports the DualSense wireless controller's haptic feedback functionality on PS5. He says, for example, you'll feel the difference when using lightning magic versus fire magic. I cannot wait. I'm actively syncing a PlayStation 5 at the moment. As you all know, they are near impossible to try to find, but should I find one, I can't wait to check that out. The PlayStation 4 and PS1 versions will include the free update to the PS5 and Xbox Series versions. The game will support performances, either the 60 frames per second or graphics 4K resolution priority modes. We saw that a little bit with FF7 Remake Integrate, where you could kind of choose which one. You know, with these action-heavy games, maybe that 60 FPS is what you'd want to go for over the 4K resolution. Like I said, it'd be cool if you could have both, but, you know, whatever. Anime scenes are produced by UFO Table. Tales of Arise has the largest volume of anime cutscenes in this series. Yeah, super excited about this. I love those anime cut series. You can go all the way back to, like, Symphonia for me with that. The gameplay is amazing. The cutscenes are awesome. But those anime cutscenes, they just get you so pumped up. And I felt like those were actually kind of on the decrease a little bit. And to hear that this has, I was not expecting this. If you're going to tell me does it have the fewest or the most anime cutscenes, I would have said the fewest. But largest volume. Okay, so maybe the largest volume would imply that there's just more of it. You know, maybe they're longer in essence than maybe not necessarily numerous. They talk about the new characters, and they say while both Alpha and Sienna are adults, the new characters may be younger, which is what they would appear to be. Here we go. There are more party members to be announced, including characters from the planet Rena. A new enemy character named Bizo, Biezo, was also revealed, and he looks pretty awesome. He is extremely violent and does not consider the people of Donna to be humans. A lord known as a Surdo, he enslaves the people of Donna and is gathering the spiritual power of fire, but seems to be in a hurry to achieve better results than other Surdo. A single swing of his giant axe can be fatal if hit directly. Yeah, dude's a monster. Very large individual with a equally large axe you will want to watch out for. One of the two really cool things that shows in the gameplay is one's called Boost Attack, which is a support action which can be performed as many times as you like in battle, given the required conditions met. Each character has his own role and effects. You control the single character, and when the time comes, can unleash support attack to create a combo. So you'll see them kind of fighting along. in the one example, there was, I think, 3 characters on screen at one time. With the directional pad, you can pick and choose which character you want to control at any point in time. And as you're going along, should you, let's say, break gauge, you get them down to a certain amount or stun them or something triggers one of these boost attacks. It's basically a team attack, and they look amazing. You will definitely want to check it out to know exactly what I am talking about, but you're going to like what you see. Now, Boost Strike is a finisher attack. After lowering the enemy's HP to the verge of full depletion, you can finish them off with this skill. The Boost Strike scene will change depending on the combination of characters. These are different than Mystic Arts. You can see the Boost Strike in action in one of these things. I believe Shion performs it, and indeed it ends up being the last attack of the battle, as it is over after that. Serious conventions such as Mystic Arts, Arts, and Skills will return, but just like the other titles, how you activate those Mystic Arts differs. I've always struggled with those. It seems like in some games I figured it out and was able to do Mystic Arts very easily. In others, I might have never seen them or just got lucky and pulled one off, right? Evasion is one of the main actions in battle. In particular, when you're fighting with Alphen, you see him dodging all over the place. They have gone to that more. I didn't see any blocking in these trailers. Maybe instead of being able to block, you now must evade, which it's the same difference in reality. Attack enemies while dodging their attacks, then follow up with more attacks. Tamazawa describes these as speedy battles where you can see through the enemy's attacks and follow up with a counterattack. Most enemy attacks can be dodged, but because battles are speedier than previous games, there will also be difficulty settings and an auto functionality for those who may not be good at action games. That's going to draw a golf clap from me. As these games get faster and faster, I get worse and worse at them. I just want to be able to enjoy it. From what I've seen gameplay wise, it doesn't look like it's anything too difficult, and maybe for the most part you'd be fine. And boss battles or tougher enemy battles, you may run into some issues. Now, let's talk about one thing in particular, and he at least brings this up. And I thought it was hinted at beforehand, but there is no victory screen after the battle. Battles begin immediately upon encountering an enemy, so you actually, when you see a group of enemies or an enemy on the screen, you run up to them, and then it does actually go to a battle screen, which is the environment that you're in anyway, but there is a transition period. It's not purely you see enemies and then you go up and start attacking them. It doesn't work exactly like that. Unfortunately, after the battle, it ends, and as you resume back to live action, so to speak, half the screen kind of has a little slant. It shows you the stats. It's experience gain, gold, whatever items picked up. And then they'll say, the characters will say a line or two after it, but there's no victory poses afterwards. Say what you will about it. I don't like it. I understand it, but it is what it is, guys. We can sit here and harp like that's a part of Tales. You can't take that out. Maybe they thought it was cheesy and wanted to get past it and and whatnot. It does speed up the game by not having to wait for these, after things to play out. But what are you going to do at this point? You can sit and complain about it, but they're not going to be in the game. And it just kind of stinks, but it is what it is. Battles begin immediately upon encountering the enemy, and if you win, you return to the field immediately. However, you can enjoy conversations between characters on the field post-battle, and you'll see that happening as you're walking along and performing actions. There's a conversation going on at a lot of times. There's text in the bottom left as well to kind of, in case you can't hear it quite clearly or not. You can explore more three-dimensional fields with basic actions such as free jumping and swimming. So think, the last Ryza 2 game. You were climbing, you were jumping, you were swimming. Basic actions, nothing too, you're not going to be doing any platforming or anything like that, but it definitely just kind of adds to the overall feel, gives the dungeons and areas a more 3D effect to it. Yeah. So the last thing he said was Tamazawa wants to provide an opportunity for users to experience the game ahead of release, but is still considering the specifics given the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. I guess that means, would it be playable at one of the game festivals? Probably not. Would there be some sort of demo? That seems like, if he wants to do that, that seems like a good way to do it. Maybe, let's say, at E3, be like, okay, there's a limited time demo up on the shop right now. I don't know. That's just my speculation on it. The other thing that I did notice, and Jake pointed this out as well in one of the comments on YouTube, was one of the screens appears, well, not one of the screens, but during the gameplay portion of it, there's definitely I think it's a knife and fork symbol, and they look to be meters. So when they're full, I think it's full yellow and it depletes over time, would indicate there's some sort of hunger meter going on that you need to feed yourself. As I, kind of said in the comment, or this might have been on Twitter, food has always been a part of the Tales games experience. Usually for healing afterwards, stat boosts, stuff like that. So maybe it's just integrated into it. I certainly don't want to be running along and every 10 minutes have to eat something to keep me from starving. I don't want that part of it. Maybe it could even be more of, okay, this is just how long your food effect lasts. Maybe it's that kind of meter. That's what I'm kind of going with. Because, I don't want to be out there survival tales. That doesn't sound as intriguing to me as other ones were. Quickly, we can go over the pre-order. There's a bunch of different pre-orders. There's the Digital Deluxe. There's the Standard Edition. There's the Special Edition. Let's see here. The pre-order bonuses include new outfits, a new costume for Alphen and Shion, outfit accessories, and new cooking recipes and ingredients. That's just, hey, you pre-order it, that's what you get. There is a Digital Deluxe Edition, which has the premium item pack containing gold cooking items and boosts. The premium costume pack, 8 full costumes and 6 accessories. And the premium travel pack. Better cooking and crafting abilities and discounts in shops. Of course, there's the Ultimate Digital Edition. All the content we just named, as well as additional costumes for playable characters and special costumes in collaboration with other Bandai Namco franchises. Can't tell exactly which ones they're going for, but they're there. And there's a whole bunch of them, right? So those are there's also the Collector's Edition, which is going to be sold exclusively through Bandai Namco's online store. You get a standard edition of the game, an exclusive 18-centimeter Alphen and Shion figure. They're kind of back-to-back on a stand of sorts. Looks awesome. Don't get me wrong. I don't know how much it's going to cost, but it's going to take all my money, I'm sure. You get the Steelbook case, 64-page hardcover art book, and the physical CD soundtrack. Let's add all that up. $200. I just a rough guess at it. I don't know, but it ain't gonna be cheap. That's for sure. So, yeah, if you can't tell, I'm pretty excited about this thing. I'm trying to think, just from a gameplay standpoint, it looks great. I'm very, very excited about it. A few little nitpicks as far as so you can definitely hear their footsteps are really loud. I don't know if that's just the way it was recorded for the sound. Obviously, that is a simple, just the meter just goes down on that sound effect. That's easy to fix. Something maybe they didn't notice until the world got its hand on it. I'm trying to think what else I don't like about it. Obviously, the skits after battle, not the post scene poses rather. As far as skits goes, I haven't seen anything on that. I think we're told that those were still going to be in there. They didn't show those off at this point, but I saw a couple comments that are kind of like, whatever. Most comments I feel like are on the extremely excited spectrum. If you are a longtime Tales fan, I don't think you're going to be off-put by this thing. I think you're going to be pretty excited. The Unreal Engine looks pretty spectacular. I don't feel like it's the huge leap that maybe they were touting, and maybe... So, here's my feeling on it. Maybe they had this original ambition. COVID kind of knocked them for a loop, and they were like, okay, let's just scale it back a little bit. We've got this technology. We're still developing a PlayStation 4 game. And while it's going to be upgraded for PS5 use, they're still limiting that. Maybe they're like, okay, real big leap might come with the next one. I see changes. Obviously, it's not exactly the same, but it's not that far from that experience. I think it's just the next, interpretation of it. It's a little faster in the gameplay, no doubt about it. A little different, but I don't feel like it's a huge leap, and I feel like that's why I'm more excited for it than maybe previously. But yeah, go over to our YouTube page. You can check out all those videos we talked about. I'm putting together a little thing today that's got a bunch of new images, as well as some short little clips kind of mixed in there, but that's going to take a little bit of time and effort I didn't really have to put into it. So definitely, if you are listening to this on YouTube, let me know how excited you are about this game. If there's anything I kind of missed going over, definitely, let me know, and we shall go from there. But I'm sure we'll have some more information to talk about at some point. I'm going to talk with Dalton a little bit about it tomorrow. A little foreshadowing. I mentioned there won't be any podcast next week because I'll be out of town. Actually, there will be. Me and Dalton are going to record a special podcast tomorrow, kind of going to be looking at things from the PC end of things. That's kind of more his wheelhouse. So I'm going to bring him in to talk about a few things and see if he noticed anything that I didn't. So we'll have an expanded conversation about Tales of Arise on next week's podcast, and I hope you look forward to listening to that. Oh man, that was a long segment. I just realized that was over 20 minutes. But hey, we were excited about new information, new game. That's the way it goes some weeks. In other news, Ys 9 Monstrum Nox will launch for the Switch on July 6th in North America, July 9th in Europe, and July 16th in the Oceania countries. PC will get via Steam a few days earlier on July the 6th, so the same as its North America Switch release date. Publisher NIS America and developer Falcom announced. Of course, this came out in February for PlayStation 4, and it's going to be almost 2 years. So it released in September of 2019, almost 2 years later. That's finally making its way to the Switch and PC. But hey, I guess better better late than never. There was a release date trailer to go along with that. So if you want to, as if you needed any other reasons to head over to our YouTube channel, you should definitely head over there and check that out if you're looking forward to this one finally making its way onto PC. News that just came in today, as there was a Phantasy Star Online 2 new Genesis live stream. Sega has announced that it will launch in June worldwide. So that's kind of interesting. It will be available for Xbox One and PC via Steam, the Epic Games Store, and Microsoft Store in the West. In Japan, you can play it on PC, Switch, the cloud version, and PlayStation 4. There's a starter package in Japan. No word on that's. I doubt that's coming to the West or not. But you check out our social media channels. You can check out the link to the live stream. It shows a little bit. Of course, this one was with an English dub to it, so you can at least follow along. But there's all sorts of all sorts of technical info about how the process went along, as well as some changes made, closed beta details, new characters and stories that are going to be in New Genesis. A lot of information on there if you are interested in checking that out. But yeah, so I think that's earlier than I speculated. Previously they were just saying 2021, so I was thinking it might be later, but yeah. June release date for Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis, and once they get a firm release date, I will pass that along to you guys. 2 games that you can play right now. Is that right? Let me do. Is that right now? Yeah. So today is April the 22nd. So if you need a game to play right now, 2 of them came out in the JRPG world. First off is the trilogy for the Atelier Mysterious 3-pack. You get that for PlayStation 4, Switch, and PC via Steam right now. So that includes Sophie, Fyrus, and the Lady and Suo 3-pack. In the West, that is digital only. You can buy them separately, or you can buy them, get a little bit of discount for a 3-pack. There is a physical edition that you'll have to, I guess, import from Play Asia. I saw that. So if you go onto their store and type in, you can get a physical version. I think it's $100 for the Switch, and which has English sub options on it. So if you are a physical collector and you demand such, that's going to be the only way that I could see that you can get that possible, as Switch cartridges are region free. You can take advantage of that, or you can just head over to your PlayStation Store or your Steam account or the Nintendo Online portal and eShop and do it that way. I think it's $90 for the trilogy, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, those are available right now. You get 3 games for the price of 1. Also available today, the newest remake of NieR Replicant version, Pi, or however numbers are for it. But yeah, that's available right now. There was a new trailer. Okay, so there was a new trailer that came out for this game with a famous recreation of Kane's iconic monologue. I did not post that on our YouTube channel. Like the podcast, I kind of prefer the YouTube channel be at least family-esque friendly. And I did post the links on our social channel with the warning, but it is adult language in the very beginnings of it, so I didn't actually post that, but there are links if you'd like to check that out. It's available right now for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. I'm sorry, it's actually tomorrow. Today is the release date in Japan. Tomorrow, April the 23rd, it will be available PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. So if you'd like to check that out, there was information about the extra content that's going to be included. I did post that trailer on our YouTube channel. And so here is what they have. Extra dungeons. First is called the 15 Nightmares. Previously says downloadable content for release in Japan, and similar to the World of Recycled Vessel content in the West. Fans will be able to undertake a series of challenging dungeons known as the 15 Nightmares protagonist in the World of Recycled Vessel. I don't know what any of that means. I'm just reading it to you. I'm sorry. Playing through the dungeons will unlock a variety of weapons, as well as the extra costumes, kabuki and samurai. You'll be able to change the appearance of enemy bullets to Himmel's face through the option menu after obtaining either of the costumes. That's just silly. As mentioned previously, there is the extra costumes, the 4 Yoha. That my cat is being extra vocal today. That's always fun. Starting at the launch, players will be able to download the free 4 Yoha costume pack to swap their characters' costumes and weapons to fan favorites design from NieR Automata, including 9S, 2B, and A2. So yeah, there you go. You can the soundtrack from NieR Automata is included. Players will be able to unlock an option to switch to select background music tracks from NieR Automata after completing the first walkthrough. And there's an extra episode called Mermaid. A wrecked ship and a little girl. What you see there is a shade that can never be killed. Originally included as a short story in the original game, Mermaid is now included as an episode in the main game. One of the most popular episodes among fans, players can enjoy a new scenario and exhilarating boss battles by playing through the game. So that's pretty cool. I'm glad they added a few new things to this one. I mean, obviously a remaster would have probably been enough to make fans happy, but adding some extra content, as well as, of course, the popularity of Automata and those costumes, kind of just gives a little bit of extra value to this game. Perhaps one of the games me and Dalton will talk about for next week's podcast, and we actually chatted about it briefly when I went on his podcast to talk about Chrono Trigger. I guess it's been a few weeks ago. All right, let's try this one again. Seren nin ninja Taisun Neptune. Sojochu Tasi no Koyen. The Neptunia and Seren Kuriga crossover action RPG is what you need to get out of that one. We talked about it a few weeks ago. It was announced. Well, the first information and screenshots were posted about it as they updated their website. So it is called Game Ninja World, a world where all ninja gather. As the struggle for control of the country intensified between the feudal lords of each land, sparks flew between the two major powers, with the leading two ninja schools. Oh no, that sounds like a school I don't want to go to. The Kanba school mastered the art of ninjutsu through the command technique, while the Hanapa school mastered the art of ninjutsu through the action technique. The two camps were fighting for supremacy when a mysterious machine ninja army that used a shoot technique suddenly attacked. In the blink of an eye, the machine ninja army had already overtaken a lesser power, and its leader, Yugima, announced to the world, "Let's let the Super Ninja Wars to decide the world's strongest ninja school commence." Of course, because that's what you would do. Yeah, so basically, yeah, that's it in a nutshell. There's two major powers, and they're going to fight each other, and it's going to be the Neptunia world versus the Shinran Kurga. And again, you guys know me. I'm not great with these Japanese words. I just love playing the games. Doesn't mean I can pronounce them at all. And so you're going to be using the upgraded Neptune versions of Purple Heart, Black Heart, White Heart, and Green Heart, as opposed to the Hanapa school, which is with Asuka, Homura, Yumi, and Mayobai. Yeah, so there you go. And there's also a Baka school with a Yuki character in there. Yeah, there's a bunch of screenshots for this game as well as the cover art for it. This is due out for PlayStation 4 on August 26th in Japan. No word on a Western release for this one or not. I'd put a decent chance of that actually happening. We'll have to wait and see. So I'm going to put together everything that I have and post it on our YouTube channel. I'll take all the images and I'll put that video on there for you guys to check out as well. Something else you want to head over to our YouTube channel to check out if you're so inclined. There was a new trailer for... Let me start that again. Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne HD Remaster. This one is called the Factions and Choices trailer. They say, shape the new world according to your reason. Who will you align with? So, yeah, you can check that out if you are so inclined. I'm looking forward to this one. It is available now in Japan, but it will launch for PS4, Switch, and PC via Steam on May the 25th. In the West. Another one you may be interested in that you can see the trailer for is called Empire of Angels 4. If you've never heard of this series, or that there was even 4 games in this series, you are not the only one. This will be by East Asia Soft. They will release the Soft Heart Entertainment developed tactical RPG, Empire of Angels 4, digitally for PS4, Xbox One, and Switch this summer. This is in the West. You can pre-order a physical edition for the Switch starting on April the 22nd from the PlayAsia site. This game first launched for PC in June of 2016 in China and worldwide on Steam. So we're going to talk about this game perhaps a little bit with Dalton as our PC JRPG report weatherman and see if he knows anything about it. He said he had it and has just never played it. You know, sometimes that happens. These games just pop up on Steam and years later then they come out on consoles. This game marks the first time the franchise has been released on consoles since the series' inception back in 1993. That's a long time. This upgraded version of the game features 3D graphics, strategic turn-based combat, and an all-female cast of characters fully voiced in Chinese, along with a revised English text localization. So yeah, you can check out that trailer, see if that's something you might look forward to as it comes to our shores. What was that date? Where'd it go? This summer. Yeah, you can check that out if you are so inclined for, digitally for PS4, Xbox One, and the Switch. Not surprise announcement, but a new game coming from the creators of Fairy Tail and being developed by Square Enix is called Gate of Nightmares, which is a monster summon fantasy RPG, and it's coming to iOS and Android. No release date has been given just yet. The first details did come out. They say Gate of Nightmares is a traditional fantasy adventure of swords and magic, set in both the real world where people live and Remurios, a world of mixed-up dreams made manifest. When Emma, a girl who became a night walker and commands monsters known as nightmares, which are born from bad dreams, encounters Azel, a mysterious boy the nightmares like, she gets wrapped up in an adventure where the fate of the world hangs in the balance. And this is by Hiro Mashima, who's behind the Fairy Tail games. He's got another game coming out for iOS and Android as well, isn't it? From the Fairy Tail people. There's all kinds of Fairy Tail stuff going on all over the place. But if you'd like to check out that announcement trailer, head over to our YouTube channel and you can do just that. Let's talk some Square Enix news, and I got one final story after that to kind of close out the podcast. Not surprisingly, Square Enix will have an E3 2021 exhibit where they will make new announcements. The company and CEO Matsuda said. He said Outriders, which was previously delayed, is due out April 1st, followed by NieR Replicant in April. Then there's Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate, which is due out in June. As for our lineup beyond that, we'll make more announcements in the future, including at E3 in June. So please look forward to that. There you go. I mean, like I said, that's not surprising at all. What will those announcements be? Obviously, if you are a Square Enix fan, you would have to assume that this is going to be about the same. I think the way it lines up, Integrate will be out before E3. I'm nearly positive. So that means they can move on to the next thing, which would be Final Fantasy 16. I fully expect that game to be there in some capacity, be it limited or whatnot. I don't think this is quite the time to debut or talk about Dragon Quest XII. That seems to be a ways away. Perhaps that might be something more at Tokyo Game Show. But yeah, those would be the big next things on the list. It's just like I wouldn't necessarily anticipate Remake Part 2 coming out. That may be a little bit further away than they are quite prepared to do. But if we saw either one of those two things, that would be pretty cool, I gotta admit. But we'll have to wait and see what those announcements are at E3 in June. Final Fantasy XIV's patch 5.5 is out there now, I do believe. I had that story pulled up, and Honestly, I don't know why. So let's just go on to the next. The War of the Visions, Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, and the NieR Automata collaboration event is now available on its global servers. Previously, this was only available in Japan, but other regions can now obtain the 2B and 9S models for a limited time. So if you've been holding out, there you go. Still waiting on the Final Fantasy VII Remake to come over to the rest of the world. Currently no word on when that is going to happen. If you don't have the soundtrack yet to Final Fantasy VII Remake, you may wait just a little bit longer. And on June the 23rd, the Integrate soundtrack will be released. It will have 3 discs of background music from the PS5 title, and it will cost just under 4,000 yen, so whatever that translates to. Now, the good news is this is not just for Japanese audiences, that everyone will be able to enjoy this. Fans in North America and Europe can purchase a collection in their retrospective Square Enix online store. That's quite a lot of music, and if you played Remake, you know music is one of the major highlights of that game. So, last thing I want to talk about, and I think it was 2 weeks ago that we talked about the sad news that the PlayStation Store was going to close on PS3 and Vita. They have since did a little, backtracking on that one as, let's see, what did CEO of Sony Entertainment Interactive, Jim Ryan, he took to the PlayStation blog and said, it's clear that we made the wrong decision here. I.e., after immense public backlash, we should not have done that. And, as I talked about before, they support their systems for 10 years. I don't know the math on it. Maybe it's not quite been 10 years. So they said, we'll just push that off. Now, if you are a PSP owner, you're out of luck. You're outside the window. This is just for PS3 and Vita versions. So you don't need to rush to the Vita or PS3, PSN store and get, while the getting's good, you're okay for at least a little while. Now, once those things reach that 10-year time limit, maybe they're just going to think about, like I said, I don't know how long these one. I feel like PS3 has been out longer than 10 years, though. With PS5 being out now, you would think. I mean, you're talking about previous ones. So, anyway, I think it's good news that they said that it's not going to happen. PSP owners will have until July the 2nd until until that happens. But, yeah, good news because while the, software options exclusive for PS3, JRPG wise, weren't the best ever. I feel like that was maybe the weakest of the PlayStation ones. 1, 2, and 4 being better. Vita had a ton of great games. The best thing about both those systems was the ability to download PS1 classics. And in particular, like I've stated before, playing a PS1 classic on your Vita looks awesome. Like that tiny screen really, with a PS1 game, the more you stretch that thing out on a TV, the worse it looks. So by contrast, the more you shrink it down, the better it looks. It's crazy how that works, but yeah. So definitely get on there and download to your heart's content until I bring you a story that says otherwise, that says, hey, you need to do it. So that's going to do it for episode 162. Don't forget, next week, same release date. Well, I'll put it out there Thursday, I don't know, noonish or something, since I won't be here to be on automatic download, but or upload, however that works. But me and Dalton will have a conversation about things. Plausibly, I'll even talk about a few things that break between now and then, but we'll just have a fun little conversation about things, not necessarily news-wise, but it'll be a nice fill-over while I am out of town. So definitely excited to chit-chat with him. Follow us on our social media channels for JRPG Report on Facebook or Twitter. And please, if you haven't already, subscribe on YouTube. We're getting closer and closer to that 1,000 mark. And if you like what you're hearing and what you see over there, you can support us actually 3 ways. You can do it through the Anchor app directly. You can do through Patreon, which I have links for in the descriptions. And if you're really feeling froggy, James Fisher Productions at gmail.com. We accept PayPal. So if you want to make a one-time donation to the PlayStation 5 fund, I will say thank you and put it in there for when one is actually available. Thank you so much for listening. That's going to do it for this one. I will be back next week with a fun show, and then back 2 weeks from today with an all-new podcast of information, catching up on those stories we may have missed. Thank you so much. We'll catch you guys next time. Till then, though, get back out there and level up.